I'm already duping them. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, and today I am going to go over my Sephora sale purchases with you, but I've already got dupes. Yeah, so that's kind of how I roll. You know, I'm enjoying something high end, but then I'm already thinking in the back of my head, wait a minute, this feels just like insert drugstore equivalent. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I am Rebecca. I'm 51 years old and I just love makeup, and I basically will try anything. So I was a person that participated in the Sephora sale, mostly because I'm a glutton for punishment, and I'm a sucker, but also because I'm like, okay, I want new things and I want them 20% off. But some of these items would have been just as easily purchased at Ulta or wherever. So, okay, so let's start with primer, kind of like sunscreen product, and that is the little Kosas. So cute. This is the Dream Beam, very popular, SPF 40. I got the mini, it's $22. It's, God, this feels like a tiny amount for $22. It is SPF 40 PA++++. It's called Comfy Smooth Sunscreen, and this is half an ounce. And it is a zinc oxide formulation. So, you know, it's great. I have nothing, it's beautiful. It's a lovely product that goes on very smooth, but I think you can see it's very sheer on the skin once you put it on, which is a lovely concept that it is got no white cast and it's a zinc product. So there is a lot going for it and I love it. It's great. But it did remind me a lot of the e.l.f. Whoa Glow. And so this is their primer kind of sunscreen. Well, it's their SPF 30. So it is their sunscreen. And this came out last year and it actually comes in some shades. So this one I have is shade Sunbeam, and I'm going to show it to you and you can see how similar. It's like a little less pink. A little bit maybe more pearl champagne shade than the Kosas. Now I will, they are not identical in any way, but I will give you some benefits and features so that you understand why I did this. So this is only SPF 30, the Kosas is SPF 40. This is considered, they consider it a primer, but it's basically, you know, anything that kind of really does a lovely job giving a pearl finish, hydrating. You've got your sun protection, but it looks really pretty under makeup. Now this is a chemical sunscreen. Let's be clear, zinc is still a chemical. Everything that goes into a mineral-based sunscreen has chemicals in it. Thank you. This entire tube is 1.69 ounces and I think it's $14. I can't remember. And once all was said and done, they look the same, they perform the same. You're getting just like 10 factors less of sunscreen in this one than this one. But for the most part, I mean, I'm very, very pleased and I really like it. I'm happy to use either chemical or mineral sunscreens. And if, you know, push came to shove, I don't think I'm going to repurchase this or purchase this in a larger size, just because I feel like it's a lot of money for something I can already get in a different form. So moving on to foundation, and I wanted to try the Ilia. This is the skin stick, and it is just, you know, everybody was talking about it. I want so much to love Ilia foundation and products, and it's $42. It was shade Sycamore is the one I have, and it claims to be a skin care foundation stick that's also concealer, and it's supposed to be hydrating and just beautiful and blurring on the skin, and it is all those things. It's a very interesting product because for a stick foundation, it doesn't have a lot of slip. It actually kind of grips my skin, and I find that it doesn't want to blend. It doesn't want to blend with a foundation brush like I would do any other products, cream or liquid. And it's a little strange because it kind of grips on itself, but I also feel like you could just sort of draw it on and then kind of just sort of pat it with your fingers or a brush and then let it be. And then it like blends on its own. So maybe that's an advantage of it, because I thought, you know what, this really does remind me of something else I have. And don't hate me, because the Ilia people are probably gonna like clutch their pearls, because if I say Wet n Wild, that doesn't go with their sort of philosophy of product and development and company philosophy, and you know, just it being a clean product. And I always have a problem with things that are considered clean versus not, and there can be an argument for both. So let me just be clear that this doesn't have any kind of like skincare benefits from Wet n Wild, and you know, the ingredients are not necessarily as high performance as this. So I just want to put that out there. I don't want to like insult Ilia to be like, yeah, this drugstore product is just as good. But that I compare it on this side of my face with the Wet n Wild and the number 7. So this is the number 7 foundation stick, and I have Cool Vanilla. And this shade looks a little bit lighter on me at first, and it has a bit of a cooler undertone versus this. But what was so funny about when I was filming this and I was applying my foundation is I just finished applying my cream product on this side, and I've got this here, and then I've got foundation, the Wet n Wild, on my forehead. And I had pretty much applied it and blended it in, and then my mother-in-law called, and I thought, oh, I better take this and I'll just talk to her for a little bit and then come back to filming. And it had probably been an hour from when I turned my camera off to when I turned it back on to look at my face. And I was like, I can't tell the difference. Like, both sides are both just as good. They're both good. So I feel like if you're looking for a stick foundation and you want to try the Ilia, power to ya. But if you're at the drugstore and you're looking for a stick foundation, the number 7 or the Wet n Wild. And I just think that they're both, they look really nice on the skin, and I didn't have any issue with them at all. And they wear the same, and I've worn them side by side many different days, and I cannot see a difference. Next, I decided to treat myself and purchase the Charlotte Tilbury Chameleon crayon. This is their, well, color chameleon. This is the Golden Quartz shade, and it is the shadow crayon. And Charlotte, you know, she's always got so many good products out there, and they get so popular. And I thought, okay, I've seen people really rave about this chameleon smoky quartz what is it called? This golden quartz shade, which is still right here. I kept these swatches so you could see how long they last. This is this one right here, and it's beautiful. It's kind of this, it's like a deep khaki, gold, green, bronze, you know, it is that kind of chameleon. I think on me, it lifts a little more green, and it's a beautiful shade. I put it on this lid. I think it blends out to be very gray. I don't think it has as much bronze or gold in it once it has been blended out, but it is very creamy. It's very blendable. I did wear shadow primer under it, and I think that helps to just grip it, because I do feel like my lids, after a few hours, if I don't put the primer on it, this shadow crayon does crease a little bit. It just gets a little emollient, and having shadow primer really does help. So that's all I did on this. I just really blended it out. It's a very pigmented, and it's pretty impressive, but I was like, it's such an expensive product. And then I was playing around with some stuff in my stash, and I realized that this Maybelline, which is a very different shade of green, but I mean, it's just a little lighter, a little more kind of olive army green versus this one. But you can see here, these all have been on for hours and they're all staying put. So the Maybelline has as much staying power as the Charlotte Tilbury. And then what I thought was a closer color pair twin is the Bronze MCO Beauty Shadow Stick. And despite it being a closer twin in shade to the Charlotte Tilbury, see how it's this one right here. See how the Maybelline has a little more green and this one has a little bit more of a brown. So I love the way this is, but this, especially over shadow primer, it just skipped. It was very patchy. It was really hard to apply. I got it to work and it went on. I think it doesn't like shadow primer, but when I have worn this without shadow primer, it does fade and it does crease. So both products need shadow primer to avoid creasing and fading. But if you love the Charlotte, enjoy it, and then if you're looking for something that is affordable and goes on beautifully, I really, really enjoy the Maybelline. And then if you want to give an honorable mention, Milani. Milani makes great, great shadow sticks. And then these multi-sticks from Wet n Wild are really good, but they're just not as pigmented. That's kind of a pewter, maybe more of a putty taupe shade. And these can be used anywhere on the face. And I feel like they're a little less, they don't have as much punch to them, but they go on so smoothly. They're so affordable. So there we go. All right, next. I decided to get the Huda Beauty setting powder. This is the Easy Bake. I always want to call it other bake thing. Okay, so her Easy Bake powder is so popular. It's such a cult favorite. It has such a huge social media presence. However, the fragrance for so many of us is too overbearing and we just can't deal with it. And I was really glad to see she came up with a fragrance-free, why does that sound weird coming out of my mouth? A fragrance-free formula. So I went ahead and I got the Cherry Blossom. I was very pleased with this powder. It has a lovely finish. It really goes on smoothly. I don't use a ton. It has this sieve. I have these little, oh my gosh, I am obsessed with these little fingertip Real Technique velvet sponges. They're little velvet puffs and you get them in like a pack of 4. I found them at Target. I am beyond, you guys. I actually keep it, I'm gonna show you. I keep it, in here. I keep a Real Techniques puff in there. Yeah, I know. All right, so this powder, it's beautiful. The pink is very brightening. It works really nicely to just kind of help give the eyes, you know, that added boost. And I have to say, it is not chalky. It is not crepey. It really, really looks beautiful, and it just, you know, you can really go into town. I don't powder a lot under my eyes. I don't powder a lot in general. So I feel like this for me is pretty good, considering I'm not much of a powder. I don't bake, you know, but I do like kind of giving that little bit of pink right there. So then I was like, oh, wait a minute, LA Girl, this, gosh, when was it? Early this winter, launched this Pro Setting Powder. They've got a few new powders. This is the brightening one, and it is pink. Also, I'm actually really enjoying this container. I think I got this at Ulta. I might have even gotten it at Target. The powder puff that comes in here is so nice. It's velvet, it's soft, it's beautiful. It has this little well here, and then you just lift it. And this pink, it's a little bit of a paler, softer pink, but still same concept and beautiful, beautiful product, you know? I am not using too much. I don't use a lot. I just kind of get in there and set it over concealers and foundations, just right in there. You can do as much as you want. Yeah, so good. So I have this Pat McGrath lip gloss, and it's so pretty. It's one of my favorites. It's the Faux Real Less Gloss, and I almost put it in my recommendations video. So I didn't buy it this time around. It's like this nude. Here we go. Okay, so peachy nude, here you are. Right? And then look at this. Almay. The Color Care Gloss in the shade Glitters Gold. Look how similar. It's maybe just a bit more, I just got it everywhere. A little more sheer, right? But for shade range, tone, yeah. Pat McGrath, a little more nude, opaque, and then Almay is a little bit more clear peach. On my skin, I was like, this is identical, and then I put it on and I went, okay, it's about 80%, but yeah, I like it. I like them both. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna list everything in the description box, whether it's, you know, both the high-end and the counterpart. And yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, it's just for fun. It's just me playing around. And like I said, I totally understand that these are not duplicate versions of products, but it is like a, look at that, it's got a very similar finish, color, formula, etc., right, effect in the end, and maybe a little less money. The only one, I gotta say, the only one that I was a little bit more convinced that for the Charlotte Tilbury pencil crayon is just creamier and nicer and a more unique color. But I do love a good drugstore shadow crayon. Thank you so much. I hope you subscribe to my channel. Hope you're great. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.